How's it going, YouTubers? Real Bubba Hotep here for round 2 of season 12, my first match of the week. Replays coming up. Hopefully I can give you a little bit of insight. This first attack, if you really want to beat Kahori, bring in Black Knight. He's hard counter, just constantly. My thinking about the entire thing, he wanted to bring in Pav for the speed, so I brought in my Pav. My Pav slows it down, so he doesn't get any speed whatsoever. Kind of negated it. Brought Guardian in, give him a little bit of the boost that they need. Ultimates takes care of anything that they have when it comes to pre-taunt, and the game's done. Round number 2. We bring in our, I can't say what this team is called, but if you're a Twitch follower and if you follow me on Twitch or any of your favorite content creators, you'll know what this team is called. Going up against Astral Dormammu, this is the team to go in. You pretty much have Void Knight that just sucks the team up together, and Red Hulk comes in, rewinds everyone. Firestar comes in, Lady Deathstrike comes in, Cloak comes in with the rewind, and the match is finished before it even starts. It's a great counter to this. Key rewind there. I don't like attacking Shadow King. When he dies, he transfers his possessed, and that causes people to hit like bricks. This one I did with just a regular double tap. I sacrificed it twice, and then went in with Kang Kestrel, Moonstone, and Tangled Web. If you don't have Night Stalkers available, if you want to save Night Stalkers, this is a great team to take. If you want to keep your Tangled Web for anything you run across with Annihilators, Kahori, then you can take in Kang Hivemind. Kang Hivemind does just as good, if not better. The whole key here is to take out Nimrod. If you can get Nimrod stunned, if you can control him and get him out of the way, no surprises whatsoever. But if Nimrod pops off, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Run that special in so I can get Mephisto and Lady Deathstrike. The tank of the team is gone. You have to be a little bit nervous of Mephisto, but once he gets the double exhaust, he's pretty well neutered. Now the last thing for me to do is just clean up Sentinel. He brings in a couple of his summons because there's no charges on Kestrel. If you bring in Kestrel, Kestrel will stop the summons at first. And whenever the annoying summon is gone, it's a good game. Coming into the Hivemind, Sus, and Gore. He brings in Gore for revives. My thinking was he was thinking Old Man Logan to come and take Sus out, because Sus doesn't do very good with Old Man Logan. So he brought in Gore to try and take care of that. I don't like messing with Mercs for money when it comes to Hivemind, because Hivemind can get going, and the team other than Old Man Logan is just weak, and the revives won't matter. Nothing will matter if they can get Mercs for money down and even get one into the yellow. Hivemind will pop off and just take care of them. So bring in Cabal. Cabal's always good. This one I was a little bit nervous going with Gladiator. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get everything I needed to, but luckily, since he didn't have Illuminati Odin on defense, I could bring my Superior 6 in. If it wasn't for Superior 6, this might have been a challenge. So we strip everything off with Lizard's ultimate. He likes to buff everybody up. And then Green Goblin Classic comes in with his ultimate. Just puts everybody in a world of hurt. Next Craven will come in. And even though I couldn't land the ability block, it still takes Spider Society down quite a bit. So I can special with Doc Ock. And then when Spider Slayer goes in with his special and just does damage. Everybody sleeps on Spider Slayer, but Spider Slayer is really someone to keep. This match took me a little bit longer than I wanted it to. The efficiency wasn't fantastic because of the Gladiator, but knowing Gladiator was just going to sit there and be a tank and draw everything to him, I knew it wasn't going to be great efficiency. We take out that little ghost, and it's just down to whittling Gladiator now. This is when I like to push big buttons. No strategy, no real thinking. You could always do basics. If they give more damage, you might get one less turn. And this, I was a little nervous because Immortal X-Men are the new hot thing. And yes, they don't have Jean Grey, they don't even have the 4-piece or anything. But they're all X-Men, which means that if any of them die before Forge, well, in this case, since there's no Cyclops, he's not giving anything to Forge. But he can still be tricky. My entire game plan was to come in and take the X-Factors out. I wanted to control Polaris, I wanted to control Storm with their new reworks, I wanted to control Forge so he wasn't popping off and doing anything naughty. And it went pretty well. Old Man Logan, he comes in and he just goes to town on everybody with his ultimate, taking out Forge, which was a good thing. And everyone just decides to drop now. And since Rogue went into stealth, the taunt is off of her. And now I can focus on Storm. And now it's just down to getting rid of her. And now, my opponent, Dr. D. Grouper, these are his attacks. He went in with a double sacrifice so he could sack Mephisto and get the double exhaust on him. Now what's smart about it is bringing in Captain Britain. I really think if he didn't have Captain Britain, he wouldn't have been able to clear this. And as you see going into it, it was hard. It was very difficult for him to get through it. I don't know exactly what the thinking was with Kestrel, maybe the pings, which isn't a good idea because when it's brought down to 50% or lower, the raiders and skirmishers, because of the room rules, hit like a truck. And you'll notice very soon that they're going to bring my Thanos down into the yellow. And endgame Thanos is a monster in this room. You'll notice in my upcoming videos that I changed up the defenses a little bit. But one person I did keep in room 1 was endgame Thanos. And it looks like they're controlling really well for now. It looks like the match is all but won. But wait. Everyone is gone. with the fight still going on, with Sus left, Sus is still putting up quite a fight. And if it wasn't for this ultimate right here, I truly believe he would have lost. So if you're looking for a good defense, just go right back to last season with Sus and Mephisto and the three-piece Annihilators. Put them in room 1, and they'll have a hard time with it. Now my thinking with this, I wanted to add a little bit of speed, bringing in Kahori. It was this team is just a filler team. It's kind of a dead team. Everybody knows how to beat it. And as I said, Black Knight, he's a hard counter for Kahori. If you ever encounter a Kahori on defense, bring in Black Knight. Black Knight used to be the king of defense, but this season it's all about offense with him. So he just comes in and he neuters Kahori. But the bad part is, Kang was stunned. So Kang's not getting his ultimate off. If he got his ultimate off, it would have been done 2 or 3 turns early. Much more efficient than what he got. And even though it was pretty efficient. But when it comes to Cabal, when it comes to Kang, this team really can't stand. Bring in the turn rewind, and the game's over. Coming into this fight, this was surprising. It got me, and there's a counter, and I believe it's a Saw owner special, so shout out to Saw owner. He came up with this sec, the Illuminati, and I've seen a little bit of change in it. He brings in Phoenix, which I've seen quite a lot. Now my opponent, he has everybody but Moondragon as striker. Moondragon, the ISOs are important on here. Moondragon is skirmisher. Because what the key is to bring down Captain Britain as low as you can get him, hopefully killing him with the first sack. And you want to pull at least the special with Odin. If you can get the special and the ultimate, that's fantastic. It's GG's at the end. But having Moondragon as a skirmisher is the key to this. Now, my bad on this was I didn't put Fortifier on Odin. I had Odin as striker. And even though he's hitting like a truck, and Raider is, my opinion, the best to use most times, Fortifier is bringing the drain. And I truly believe if I had Fortifier on Odin, he wouldn't have gotten this close, let alone beating me. As you see, since my special is drained, since my ultimate was drained, I just can't keep up with him. Now it looks like it's going pretty good, but remember, Odin, he's tricky. You'll think you're going to lose, and then all of a sudden his special comes in, and he just wipes out the entire team. Now I'm not really sure about the Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is a pretty good guy to go against if there's not a pre-taunt. If there's no pre-taunt with Illuminati in here, you can bring in Nightcrawler and you can target Black Panther Shuri with the special. And when you stun Black Panther Shuri, you can just go to town. Unfortunately, he can't get to my Shuri because I have Sasquatch as the pre-taunt. But you can see everything is just done after Odin pops off. And he was able to get a 2-shot on this one, which, very impressive. Now this surprised me. Normally, Night Stalkers can come in here and just take care of them pretty easy. I truly believe if he just would have put regular Moon Knight in instead of North Star just for that extra punch, that he would get, he would have been able to take me out with one shot. But instead, he brought in North Star, thinking that he was going to be able to pull off the revives from Dormammu, which is good, but with Night Stalkers, you really don't need to take the revives off. And I think it really didn't do much of a difference. Now, if you notice in the beginning, he looks like he's doing pretty good. Dormammu's already gone out of there. Has my Ancient One down to nothing. And now Agatha hits and takes out half of my team. But they just cannot get through my Doctor Strange. And that's the downfall with him. Now, if you notice, after Doctor Strange is gone, Shadow King comes in. If they would have targeted Shadow King first, instead of worrying about Doctor Strange, that's where the downfall was. Taking so many turns not being able to get through Doctor Strange, just leaving Shadow King in the back to sit. Shadow King is really someone you don't want to sit on. And a counterattack brings him down, and Emma finishes the job. Easy cleanup with New Warriors. I really didn't need to show this, but I wanted to showcase what he was thinking too. He was a tough opponent. He had a lot on offense. The defense didn't give me a hard time at all. It wasn't much of a defense, but it left him with so much on offense, and the man knew how to use it. He just goes right in. Anyone else that I would have known and I would have thought of would have used Illuminati with Odin to face my Illuminati with Odin, and probably would have struggled with it. But instead, he wanted to save his Illuminati, and by splitting it up and using free-to-play Illuminati with Iron Man and putting Captain Britain in Room 1, he did a really good job. Now, I was going to take this off defense, and I was going to have it for offense. Take it off of defense. But I don't think it got a fair rap. I really want to see if Night Stalkers with big-time Spider-Man will throw a wrench in their plans. So I left it on defense. This time, at the end of today's round, I'll see how it does. Now, this was the surprise. Mercs for Money with a zombie juggernaut, you would figure, would take this team out pretty quick. This is a team that back in the day would be crushed easily by New Warriors. I know in a lot of circumstances it can be crushed by New Warriors now. But unfortunately, due to bad RNG, their old man Logan just deteriorated. He was deleted. They got hard targeted. Rogue came in with the ability block right off the gate. Gambit pings just wiped out Old Man Logan. And as I said earlier, Old Man Logan is the entire team for Mercs for Money. If he's gone, you might as well just back out. Now it's just a matter of time. With the taunt on Panda, it takes a little bit longer because he just loves to revive. But he runs out of lives sooner or later. Dokken could have done some major damage there. Unfortunately, just didn't have it in him with all of the buffs. And with Deadpool down, Pandapool just crumbles. And now the only one left is Dokken. He has no revives. And it's just a matter of time. This was a surprise to me. But the cleanup went pretty good. I'm not really sure about the Mephisto, or about the Mysterio, pardon me. I think he was going back to the days of Vulture and Mysterio with Superior 6 going against them. But Mysterio gets a lot of his speed, Mysterio gets a lot of his buffs from his teammates. So Mysterio doesn't really do a whole lot on his own. In all honesty, all Mysterio has to do is just sit there anyway. Even though it was a good fight, Secret Defenders is still struggling with this. The efficiency just was not there for my opponent. Rack it up to a bad RNG day. But now that as you can see, the team's starting to fall apart right now. That was a good dropped room that I wasn't expecting. That was enjoyable. If you notice, it was a close match. 49-377 to 47-743. It's a good game. I look forward to playing them again.